Welcome back, another episode of Beatmatching Podcast. We're back again with our good friend Cam St Denis. Stoked to have you back on the show, buddy. Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be back, boys. Yeah, it's too bad the last 3-hour episode that we shot just didn't work out, but the banter and the memories that we made through those conversations were just...
It was a good episode. I'm choked we lost it, but you know what? We can recreate some of the magic, Cam. You know that, buddy?
Yes, absolutely.
Always,
it never ends. The hilarity with you two never ends, and I love it.
So, welcome back, Cam. So basically, I just want to get into where you're from and that then, like, where you're from, where did it all begin, and what your influences into your journey in electronic music, mate?
Well, I am born and raised Southern California, spending my summers up here in British Columbia as a youth. Coming to Canada was something I looked forward to every year, and now that I live here and I'm back doing music, I had a little hiatus. We'll get into that a little later, but my big motivations for electronic music and the way I fell into it was Mom was a fairly well-known promoter in the Los Angeles area, and basically I fell in love with house music at the age of, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 years old, and I wasn't like mixing or anything like that, but I was just like, I loved it. I loved the music. I loved everything about it. And like when they would come home, they'd be like on a sick one partying, and I'd have every vinyl laid out, like the ones I wanted to hear. Can I put the first one on? Like, get the fuck to bed. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was, and then I started, taking records out of my mom's and her friends' collections and starting that way. And it was actually a lot of like Herb Alpert, which is like, kind of funky trumpet. And then I started with like Little Lewis and Frankie Knuckles and DJ Heather, DJ Irene, big Chicago, Detroit guys. And I kind of fell into it as a house guy. I have always, and I don't know who told it to me, but I've always had this like saying that this house was built on house. And I just remember chanting that and people chanting that in my living room, and it's just kind of stuck with me for the last 35 years, I guess, or 30 years, or however long, whenever it entered my mind. But yeah, it's been a wonderful ride, and something that, it's let me down plenty and had a lot of loss and stuff, but electronic music it's who I am at this point in time.
So that's pretty cool, man. So house music was pretty much like, other than the funk side of it, but house music was your entry point, your first sort of start in electronic music?
Oh, absolutely.
First love?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
House. That was, and like, real house music. Like I mentioned Little Lewis and
Frankie
Knuckles and that kind of sound. What that to me is still what proper house music is, and it's funny going through the 90s and 2000s, you'd have everyone called it techno. If it was in North America, if it was electronic music,
it was techno.
It was regarded as techno.
Yeah.
And then you show these idiots, or sorry, not idiots, humans. You show them real techno, and they're like, "That's just noise," or something like out like that. So, yeah, I've been a house guy since I was a kid, and I moved into techno. Like it's my love. It's getting bigger and better here. But yeah, house music.
What do you think, like, with the scene back in the States compared to like here? What would you say would be the difference musically, culturally, like the vibe? Do you know what I mean? I've never been to LA and been down that area, but for house music that down there, what would you say it's kind of equivalent to, or like?
Well, the biggest thing that I've found, biggest difference that I've found is cooperation in the scene down there. Like, we have easily said probably the biggest and most oversaturated scene in maybe even the world. And people communicate. They, there's a Google document or like a Google meetup or whatever, a group thread going on. And, 6 a.m. group might be bringing Woo York on the 26th, and people will communicate and not throw a competing show. Even though the market's big enough that you can have multiple shows, you can still pack venues out. But people talk, and that, I would say, that just comes with, like, I guess, time. Yeah. I think that the scene here is absolutely wonderful. I adore what I see happening here, and I think that over time it will get to that point of communication. It just, right now in Western Canada, it does feel like people are trying to outdo each other in a sense. Like, like in Vancouver here, you guys know just as well, like sometimes there's 8 or 9 warehouse events in the same night.
Yeah.
Like, you guys do your, you guys were doing your shout outs there for, I don't know, you still doing it?
A little bit of a hiatus from doing the weekly shout outs, but we're going to get back onto that pretty soon.
Yeah, man, we're going to get back onto that for sure.
Busy for sure.
Sometimes there'd be like 9 shows that you guys were promoting and one from back home in the UK, like one banger. But that's probably because the groups of people started, it takes a community to throw big successful shows and to support one another.
And this is actually almost something we were talking about before we started recording the podcast, was this exact thing.
Yes,
some certain people and groups kind of get together and maybe do it as
Well, yeah, and like I'll reiterate that what the point that I was making. So, average cost of a venue in this area is about $1,600 from 10 p.m. to 4 to 6 a.m. About 8 hours or so. And now there's 9 of those going on in the same night. So imagine just 3 of those 9 promoters got together. Now you've got just under $5,000, rather than struggling to make your ends meet. You combine all your stuff. So now you got one guy kicking in the $1,600 for the venue. Now you've got more money for your artists, which maybe instead of paying guys that are up and coming or whatever, you can give them, based on their performance with promotions or whatever, because every DJ should be promoting, in my opinion. I just think that that's part of your job.
It's like the general.
I agree. It's kind of just part of the
part of it. Someone puts you on to play a show for them, you should be pushing them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it never used to be like that, did it? But they used to have just promoters be promoters. But I think now, the way like the scene's growing now, you've got to be your own. You got to be a promoter. You got to be your own marketer. You got to be your own graphics designer, your own, and
especially
producer,
especially when you're starting. Like, I really do believe that you need to be well rounded on basically every aspect of this game. Like, you need to understand how to put together, even if it's a shit one, like a flyer, or be able to do Facebook events, how to orchestrate one of those online, or resident advisor, which we've me and my crew have started using specifically again for our events, and it just adds you to a social network, and you can track your stuff. Like, you go put my name in, Cameron St Denis, into resident advisor, and you'll see all the shows that I played in 2010, 2011, back in LA and New York and wherever else.
Classic, bro.
It's pretty cool, man. Like, I found all my old flyers and stuff like that way. It's just
that's pretty cool.
And now I believe that your job, as much as you might think you're too cool or whoever you think you are, your job is to sell yourself as an artist.
Absolutely.
And the music's gonna do it for you, but you like just grease the wheel a little, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And again, even just pumping up your own night too. Like you're trying to put on a night with some buddies, or why wouldn't you promote that stuff yourself?
Mm-hmm.
We used to do it, you know. Totally used to have to do it ourselves, and that's when there was no fucking internet. Well, there was an internet, but we didn't use it for this shit back then. It was like basic, and there was no cell phones, but we had to print the flyers.
Well,
flyers up,
that's how I got my start.
Flyers out, give them out to people, slap up posters around the city. You know what I mean?
Oh, do you ever go with a can of glue, or like a pail of glue and a roller? Because I'll tell you what, that's how I got my start in DJing. Yeah. Is I was the kid that would show up at the club on Monday, and I would grab as many handbills as they would give me. And I would get those things littered everywhere. And then I would go grab the posters, and I would have a roller and a pail of like shitty Elmer's glue. And I remember getting chased by police for like putting up big posters on I was an idiot. I did it on like windows of businesses and shit like that. And then I remember getting the promoter call me. He's like, "You fucking idiot. Like, you fucking vandalized this place with my logo, you piece of shit. You're done." And I'm like, dude, how many people fucking bought tickets from that shit? He's like,
there's a story there's a buddy of mine called Scott Rosario back in my area, and he used to do events, and he went out and was putting the posters up on the walls of shops and things like that, and the police caught him. He was doing it on a roundabout, so on the signage on the roundabout he was doing it on that. So the cops come anyway, and they're like, "Hey man, like, you know, you can't be doing that, this, that and the other." He's like, "Oh, I thought you guys knew." He said, "The council have told me to take down all the posters that I've put up." They went, "Oh really?" He went, "Yeah." They went, "Oh okay, just carry on then." And he just put up even more.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. That old school renegade guerrilla stuff, like there's nothing better. And then, you know, like through what we just experienced with the pandemic and all that, like the COVID, like when events were being thrown, we went back to the underground. You weren't getting the address on the Facebook event. There was nobody posting Facebook events. There was nobody posting anything online, except for when you buy a ticket, you get that secret location tag on it, and you don't even get the address till the night of. And that to me, it built back a huge piece of what I got to experience and what these kids like. You got to think in BC, the drinking age is what, 19? You got to think if you were 19 years old when that or 17 years old when that pandemic hit, you weren't going out for drinks on your 19th birthday.
Yeah,
you couldn't go to a pub.
No,
you couldn't go and do. You couldn't go and do what most people did, and what people who were throwing events during those times, they opened up an opportunity for people to come back together. I support it. We won't ever get into politics when the three of us talk, but it gave a window into what I got to experience, like doing these. Like I remember waiting at the one payphone in town that could get calls, waiting there, and then you'd call and you'd get the address to go to. You go to the address and a fucking blacked out, like, you know, pedo van would pull up, all windows blocked out. You'd get in the van, and then they'd drive around for 15 minutes, and then you'd end up at the warehouse. And that kind of stuff, it's like a treasure hunt. Absolutely. And then you finally get in there, and you're like, it's just, it to me, it brought back a lot of the, like, underground rave culture that, and now, you know, like the guys I work with, the Raised by Raves crew, you know, they're in between 20 and 25. They never got to experience that. You know, maybe their parents did. Maybe their parents got to experience, but they never would ever have anything even close to resemble that. And that I'm actually grateful for the pandemic, and we'll leave it at that. You know, it's not a good thing to what happened. Like, it's horrible. People got sick, but it brought the electronic and underground community together even stronger than it was going into it. And I see the positive in it.
I think the underground blossomed while the pandemic happened. I think it forced it back underground again. And like you said, Cam, it's kind of part of the roots of it all anyway at the beginning, you know. And again, I don't want to get into politics on parties and stuff. There's been a couple of ones that have happened recently where there's been issues with the land it's been done on and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And even that, I kind of think back to the good old days where, well, fuck, the true roots of it were you were breaking into people's warehouses, man. There was no permission.
No.
You were going
or like
to
like a farmer's field that
yeah,
you'd never go into, and you're next thing you know, you see headlights on the horizon, and everyone fucking scatter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the real roots of it was all about breaking into places, man.
Yeah, and
doing things without permission.
Yeah,
no, man, I'm fucking doing it.
And
so I honestly agree with you. Like, I think the whole pandemic thing kind of almost forced it back that way in a subtle way, you know?
Right. Well, I think we've talked enough about that P word for now.
Yes.
Yeah, no, and I just want to say, you guys, I really do appreciate what you guys are doing for the community as well, putting people on a platform to explain who they are, where they are, what they're doing, where they come from. I think it's just wonderful to see just having that outlet. And you know, I'm seeing we had our little Colty there from Raised by Rave. He did his first interview with you guys, and I'd love to see it, because now, you know, there's guys like myself who's been doing this 20 years, and I've done a few interviews and talked a lot of shit and whatever, but this is a huge platform. Man, for any age.
Really appreciate that, mate.
Cheers, brother.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
totally
super appreciate it.
Nice one, brother.
Yeah. Nice one, brother.
No, I said nice one, brother.
I said nice one. That's a bit like.
Oh my God.
We were talking.
Wouldn't imagine doing that Halloween group costume, hey?
Yeah, oh man. Well,
nobody would get it here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We were talking about it's all gone paytime, weren't we? Before the camera, before we started rolling, and yeah, Cam, this Halloween, you are definitely going as the Badger, right?
100%. I got the shovel.
You almost look like the Badger anyway,
Easy.
bro.
Yeah, you're getting there, aren't you? Easy. I was in the underground. I was at the afters last night, you know. Speaking of which, actually, what time is it? I got to play that place tonight.
Yeah. We got some time, bro.
Yeah, we're
good.
good.
Time, bro. Yeah.
Yep.
It's all good.
It's not. Won't get another 3-hour banter. You guys are lucky too. You had no idea. I just come back from, I think, like 5 shows. I probably not slept in like 2 or 3 days, but the banter that you guys bring to the table is like, it's rare for me to have like people that can keep up and talk as much shit back, and it's just amazing. Yeah. I love it.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
we're definitely full of shit, Cam.
Fucking yeah, ain't wrong there, mate.
Well, Brad is anyway.
Well, I'll come out. I'll come out.
Rock solid, mate.
Yeah, I'll speak a lot.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I got one for you, and I just sort of, obviously we spoke to you quite a while back, so let's talk about this year, bro. You've had a fucking busy year, Cam, and you've played some stuff, mate. Tell us some of your adventures.
Tell us your journey.
2022.
Man.
Hey?
Okay, well, first of all, exiting that dirty P word I said I don't want to talk about no more.
Fuck that shit.
But as that subsided, excuse me, this PBR is delicious. We built a huge momentum coming out of that, and it has been endless. I cannot thank the people who have included me on lineups, as you know, assisting with promotions, with having just. It's been I'm actually speechless. There's no words to describe the gratitude that I feel for the opportunities and the community that I've been so warmly welcomed into here. It is just absolutely mind-blowing what we as a group, as Raised by Raves, have, and all of us have individually have accomplished in a year. I just knocked out one of the most ridiculous music festival seasons. We're in September now, so, you know, if I've slept at home, we'll put it this way. I've slept at home 12 nights since May long weekend.
So what you're saying is you're really feeling it right now, yeah?
No, I kind of, it's not ending. There's no slowdown. Typically, it's right now it's studio season, but I'm packing my shit up and heading over to Europe for 2 months, and then I'm in Japan for a little bit. We just got some confirmations over there, and then I'm in Mexico, in South America, Central America. So I'll be back in Vancouver around end of January.
Wow.
But
perfect, mate.
But it's just the momentum itself is so it's basically as much, it's an all you can eat buffet right now with just events and stuff like that, and I think that I'm not the best DJ, but I bring an energy to being a part of things like a lineup, or that I think is what resonates in people, and the blessings that I've been dealt with how busy I've been. Like, I've played 4 festivals a weekend, a couple weekends this summer, and like
that's insane.
That's
and
mad,
like
mate,
it takes a little bit of the like romantic, the intimate vibe away, because you're not like setting up your tent or your trailer or whatever and like camping out and getting set for the weekend. Like, you pull in, you play, you get back on the plane, go play the other one, or not always a plane, truck or bus or whatever. And the really funny thing is I've been so blessed to be included with this Raised by Raves crew, and I'm 15 years. There's most of their senior, and just to see these guys, they're growing. They're growing as men and women and as artists and everything. And it's just so fucking funny that the old dog is the last standing every time. I'm looking at you guys. You're
one thing I've got to take me out of to you, though, you have worked really, really hard for all this, and when I see it at the festival, you're like, I ain't slept for 3 days, but I'm still smashing it.
Yeah.
So you have put in the legwork and the admin work for it.
Well, I'm just trying to bring that old school. Like, I was so blessed to be surrounded by guys that like they're still going, and I don't believe in like overindulgence in anything. Everything's got to have a happy medium, sleep's included in that. I really do see the good in the party. If you can not do the life commitment partying where you can maybe not make your rent or your mortgage or car note, whatever, and you're still doing what you love, and you're not missing gigs, and you're not like shitting in the bed, better or less words, but if you can find that groove and that creative flow, I've played some of, well, I'll say they're my better sets, and complete sleep deprivation and borderline psychosis, and I don't think that if you want to accomplish that projection of art, it couldn't be part of it. I'm not encouraging like drug use or alcohol use or over partying. What I'm saying is that each artist has their own creative outlet and creative process, and maybe sometimes that's having sleep deprivation. That some of the best tunes that I've produced right here in the studio, actually shout out Northern Haus Studios.
Yeah, shout out to Northern Haus,
Yes,
bro.
thank you very much,
for
Northern
allowing
Haus,
us to
for letting us come.
Thanks,
do the damn thing.
Yeah, big shout to Dom and Bryn for letting us come down.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bryn Lytle and Still London here. They are 2 of the people I'm most thankful for meeting in this community. Everything that they do, they have a Northern Haus residency on Thursday nights on Twitch. You guys should all check it out. It's like it's just nonstop. It's heaters.
Full
every
of
week.
talent.
It's just. Didn't you play it, Brad?
I haven't played one yet, no.
What the fuck? I'm just kidding.
I'm on the wheels of my chair. I'm just gonna slide out the room.
But no, honestly, like I work in this studio pretty exclusively while I'm I'm working on production and stuff like that. Actually, one of my best buds, Joel West, and I knocked out one of the coolest pieces of music EP. We called it The Mine, named it after a venue that we had here, warehouse venue. It's no longer around, got condemned and torn down, but just to pay homage to that, it was so amazing. And getting back to the point I was making about over partying and stuff, some of the best work I've ever done is after playing in after hours. Like we did our EP, neither of us slept. I played till 8 a.m. We came straight to the studio and knocked out this like banger EP that is still crushing it. I don't think it's still in like top 100 or anything, but it is. We were able to capture that emotion and creative flow that we pulled out of that venue. Sure, we were partying and having drinks and doing the thing, but the motivation that certain individuals can pull out of that mind state or physical state. So what I'm trying to get to is maybe don't think that people who party are necessarily not doing anything, but in the same breath, just make sure your friends are doing good. No, don't let them get too far into anything. We always got to care for each other and push each other's art instead of talking about how bad someone is because of choices that they personally make.
Yeah, I want to dive a bit deeper into like you getting your first gig and that. Like, how did you like go about getting your first gig, and like what was your process to get it?
Jeez.
First ever one, and what style of music? I know you said house earlier, but like what sort of
first
type of house?
The first gig that I had was at a pizza parlor. I would play records that I would take from my mom and her friends, that with permission, of course. And I was playing for free, basically playing for exposure. I think I was 17.
You didn't get pizza?
I did get pizza.
They
fed me.
So it wasn't.
And
you got pizza,
I would
bro.
like, I would flirt with the old waitress lady, and she'd bring me like sneaky beers. Yeah. She's like 40. She's like 40, and I'd be like twirling her through the aisles in the restaurant, like telling her how pretty her eyes were, and I'd be like, "Can I just have a fucking beer?"
I can picture it right now, mate.
I still do it. I actually did. There's a hilarious story from a dim sum restaurant during Chasing Summer. We won't get into that though. But late night. Later. It was like 2 a.m. It was just maybe I should start a Twitch or something like that. But anyways, yeah, no. I honestly, the first gig I had, that was a weekly, and it was unpaid. It was cool. Like there was like a cool spot, Venice Beach, and it kind of just steamrolled into that. There's I was like 19 or something like that, like a year or two before I was able to actually be legal. There's a speakeasy bar in Culver City, and it was called the Blind Barber. So it was a barber shop out front, and then you go in the back, and they had like the sickest function one, like
in the back of a barber studio.
Yeah, so it was like the front of it was a barber shop, and then you'd go through this door, and it was like they had like they had the CDJ 400s. I never did the Serato thing. I just wasn't into it. Like I don't, whatever. I just played CD books. And now when I see a dude pull up with CD books, it's like, yo, bro, save some of the girls for the rest of us, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, gonna actually show up with a CD book. Shout out, Goa Pete.
Oh, he does a CD book.
He does, man.
Yeah.
He's a fucking legend,
CD
man.
book. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like the whole like approach to DJing for me was really like going and digging and finding those cuts. You couldn't go and like rip shit off Napster or YouTube or do these like MP3 downloads. Like you literally had to go find these things. I was recording from vinyl into my shitbox brick MacBook. I don't even think it was called a MacBook at that point. But then burning it onto CDs, because the quality that you'd get, I didn't even know the fucking term 320 or the like. Who knew what it was?
Per second, whatever.
Yeah. Like we didn't care about that shit. We wanted the cuts that we heard on like, Boiler Room. You'd get that like Boiler Room like CD compilation. Yeah. And I have so many amazing memories of like doing these parties at the Blind Barber. Just packed. I was playing like Hollertronics, like dubstep, girl talk kind of vibes, like mashup, not dubstep, sorry. It was like mashup, electro housey, and that was the cool thing at that point in time. Being where I'm from was a wealth of exposure to music, hip hop, all go as far as to say is like that whole mashup culture is what with like DJ AM and Travis Barker, they would do the DJ drummer thing. Like it started to really build that like connection between genres, and the way that bled into like the commercialization of electronic music, it allowed guys who wanted to get those deep cuts to really fly under the radar and not really do the normal thing, which I never really do. Like you guys know that about me. But I've always wanted to do the cool stuff, but the cool stuff that nobody else is doing.
Yeah.
And then it just moved into other things. Like I got my first residency. I actually played remember the movie Night at the Roxbury?
Yeah.
My first residency was at the Roxbury in Hollywood on Ivar.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I got to play with like the likes of I don't know if he still plays Party Wave. It was like very electro housey, and I would play like the Maynards and the Nick Vanchuli and like do all that kind of stuff for the openers.
Cool.
So it was weird back then. You know what I mean? And I looked up to guys that like Jeremy Soule and guys that were doing these like I would play like banger like electro house into like it's horrible. Like into like the most pussy fucking house music. Like it was like not good.
Like
but
funky?
Yeah. Like it was. I was still like learning my sound, and I didn't give a fuck if I liked the way that these tracks sound together, regardless if they're in key or if they work together. You didn't have readouts on. You couldn't see what the fucking waveform looked like on these CDJs. They're just like a bar that would run out, and you have to use your ear like same as vinyl. The only cool thing is it didn't weigh 900 pounds and have 15 flight cases that you had to lug your. Shout out 45. So that was a good point in time in DJing, wasn't it? Like
45s.
They just weigh nothing. They're small.
I've only got a few, man. I've fucking never really got on the whole 45 wavelength. I know a lot of people are right into it again now, though.
The disco edit guys.
Yeah, man. A lot of those boys are rocking the 45s, but no, I was always 12-inch, mate. And yeah, they fucking weigh quite a bit, man. I just went to one little one a while back, and I took 2 bags with me. And fuck me, man.
Do you have to walk up a hill?
No, luckily no. I fucking drove.
Go
Right
get
up
the
to the fucking stage, man,
the fucking cart, mate. I'm not fucking doing this shit. I remember, man. Like I remember going with my mom's friends and stuff like that, to a little, bush raves, and it turned into a little Vegas desert rave, and then it turned into. But I was that little fucker that they would make come. They were blessing me by coming. They didn't realize this yet, but I carried every one of those fucking flight cases. Like it was like the most ultimate paying of the dues.
Yeah, man.
I know this ain't quite like the vinyl thing, but I remember when CDJs first come out, I carry like
when your USB sticks were really big and they were
nah,
heavy?
not that quite,
No,
not that advanced just yet. But you remember CDs though in the fucking CD books,
Man,
right? I used to have like 3 or 4 of them, and they weigh like loads, right? No, I know they don't weigh like vinyl.
Bless your little cotton
I know,
socks.
mate.
They did though,
The
and
struggle is real.
and they take up
those-
space.
But do you remember when they started
Sorry.
bringing out? They started bringing out the MP3 CD.
Oh yeah,
And then you were like,
100
oh,
tunes on there.
Now I've got 100 tunes in there. Now I've only got to go with one CD book. And
Yeah.
that was like your whole life change back then, right?
But my dumbass, I would have to burn like 6 of the same ones because I'd like get all hyped during a set and I'd just take it out and fling it into the crowd so they could have the fucking tunes. You know what I mean? Like, how's that?
Do you remember like you used to get it? You used to be like, and
Yeah.
you rub it on
You rub it on
your
yourself.
t-shirt, and
You know, talking about vinyl and shit, like literally the thing that I love the most is when you're like and Frankie Knuckles used to do it every fucking time. He'd be playing and he'd literally show the crowd the record. We can't read that, you dumb cunt. Like, it's fucking, you know what I mean? Like, we can't see what record that is.
Mm-hmm.
Just play it. But it's just like that, there's that romantic memory that I have of like, it's just frothing. The crowd's losing their shit, and the DJ's like showing you the record he's about to drop. Like, we can't see that down here.
It's just a bit of black.
It's
plastic.
like a fucking
It's got a white label on it.
Yeah, it's
With
got
no-
a white.
What the
Exactly.
fuck does
There's
that
not
mean,
even
bro?
album art on it.
I remember watching video of Jeff Mills. He was behind
Legend.
by the fucking
Absolute
obviously
legend.
behind the DJ booth, and he had all the sleeves, obviously paper, right? A lot of them back then, and yeah, all sleeves just everywhere on the dance floor, and there's vinyl on the dance floor and the DJ booth,
behind the DJ booth.
and then there's vinyl, and he's stepping on them. I'm like,
and he's
"What?"
like scooting them, like.
I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Oh,
Yeah.
But
those
that's-
were the days, man.
That's a DJ that probably got given most of those tracks, to be fair.
It doesn't even. Who cares though? Like,
Yeah, man.
just
Fuck
leave
yeah,
them there.
man.
You know what?
Actually-
Just don't even carry the fucking crates. Just this is. That would have been. You know what? Guys probably did that.
Oh, for sure.
Just
They're like,
fucking hung
I
around,
need
yeah.
this on the rider. Like, I
Yeah,
need
man.
this album through this album, and then just fucking leave them.
Mate, the guy I bought my turntables off, he was savage, man. My first set of Technics, not my first set of turntables. But my first set of Technics.
Which ones were they?
Mark II,
Oh, nice.
1200 silvers, obviously. Wish I still had them. But I've got the Mark II's black 1200, so it's
Nice.
all good. But I wish I still had the silver ones. But yeah, no. Scott, man, I went round his house and I almost cried when I went in his bedroom. I bought one off him. At first, he would only sell me one. He was like, "Nah, man, I want to keep one. I'm not selling the pair. I'll sell you one." And I was like, "Okay, bro, I'll buy the fucking one then. I need it." It wasn't long after he sold me the second one. But when I went up to his room, there was not one bit of vinyl that was in its sleeve.
No.
Not one
Fucking
fucking
everywhere,
piece.
yeah.
They were just stacked up.
Or warped. You ever see that?
Next to each other. I honestly was horrified. I was like, "Bro, like, what the fuck?" He's like, "Whatever, man."
Oh fuck! You remember? Did you ever have like your one homie or one friend or whatever that would like, "Yo, bro, like I've got this sick gig. Can I like can I pull a couple tracks? Like, can I pull a couple of albums out of your crate?" And you come back and they're like bent or like warped.
Scratched.
Like would you play that in the fucking sun, dude? Like,
Yeah, man.
like, but yeah, like I don't miss the days of like floating tone arms from playing on the beach and like you get a big gust of wind. Like moved across the record and stuff like that. And good luck finding stylist like tips anymore. It's really sad to see, but like at Shambhala actually there was some really, really amazing, just shout out the living room stage. Their programming, man. The music that I experienced there was absolutely it was insane. I saw Greg Wilson. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he does a reel-to-reel act. Air Canada lost his reel-to-reel player, so he came and did a vinyl set, crushed it, like just smashed it.
Yeah, mate.
But like that, adding that aspect of having the reel-to-reel in there was just like that was one of the sets I was looking forward to throughout the whole weekend. It's and the old way of doing it where they'd be running the 8mm tape and they would cut and splice. They'd be listening 5 minutes ahead in their headphones.
Yeah.
And then they cut and splice. The fucking mix is horrible. Like all this phrase mixing and shit like that fucking shit didn't matter back in the day.
No, man.
As long as you're selecting the tunes.
The tunes, man.
And
It's
like
all about the music.
and then it turns slowly into like like long mixing. So
Yeah.
do you remember when guys would set up the turntables battle style and they'd have 4,
Yeah.
but they'd only have 2 channels, so they're plugging the fucking RCAs in the back.
Yeah.
And they're like,
And
dude,
flipping it over for sure.
flipping them and shit like that. Like those days and the creativity that people that I look up to had to like come up with to stand out. Like adding a reel-to-reel player on your set. Like there's this dude, you guys probably heard of him, DJ Harvey. He's San Francisco, or is he LA? But anyways, he is. I've never seen anything like it. I remember being like 18 years old. I was in Hawaii, and I snuck into a club called 39 Chinatown Hotel, and legendary. It's actually his club, DJ Harvey's, and just seeing this dude on stage, cutting and splicing, heat splicing tape together.
Wow.
Just what? It's like some of the most out there shit that you could ever think of. Like, I'm gonna grab this Raffi track, like "Kumbaya, my friend," and then like put it over top of like the Cramps, or like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff was what motivated me. I bend genres pretty hard. Like I don't play one set genre. I play techno. I play house. Play melodic stuff.
Do you like to mix it up in your sets then?
I do.
Yeah.
I take a lot of motivation playing peaks and valleys.
Mm-hmm.
I love peaks and valleys, man.
Man,
I do. Yeah.
You gotta give them a fucking rest. Unless you're unless you're playing in like Germany where it's like a slamming techno night,
Exactly.
all night.
All
Like
night
they're
long.
ready to go.
Yeah.
But like out here, West Coast, North America, you got to give them a rest, man. And honestly, like you can do, like tonight, I'm actually playing the world famous After Hours Gorgamish here.
Big shout out to Gorgamish.
I love
Big
them.
shout out to Gorgamish, mate.
That place has made me feel more at home than any other venue. And like I love and respect everyone that has booked me, but Gorgamish is something I looked up to before I even got here, and the fact I have the opportunity to play there so often, and that I've been so warmly accepted by the like dance floor, let alone the management, the staff. It makes me want to tear up. Like tonight's my last show in Canada before I head off to Europe, and the response that I've gotten from every aspect of it, like the general manager, the bartenders, the door girls, the security, the people that are commenting on the posts online and stuff like that. Like I am just beyond myself thankful to be where I'm at in this community here in Vancouver.
When did you first play at Gorgamish, Cam? How long ago did you first step up?
I've played there. I play there about once a month for the last. The first time I played there was for a friend of ours, Francesco Rosa. He runs an event series called Denizens.
Yeah.
Awesome curation. We actually did a boat party with them this summer as well, with a bunch of other guys that play the club quite regularly. And he put me on, and the GM Graham was there, and he hit me up about 5 or 6 days later, and he's like, "You ready to go?" I couldn't even believe it. I could not believe that I was being asked to play this. I literally flew from Kelowna to Vancouver so that I could experience the first night of it reopening after everything was shut down for so long. I stood in line for 2.5 hours with my buddy Joel West. He stood there with me. This dude's been playing there forever, and he stood there with me. It was a part of it, man. Like, and that's what people don't understand. The entitlement of like, oh, I'm this person, I should get to walk straight through. Like, dude, if your friends are throwing an event and you're trying to get guest lists, like, cool, skip the line, but pay. I'm sorry, but like, if you can afford it, pay, because that money's going into the pockets of the DJs. That money's going into the pockets of the promoters, the venue, all that stuff. It all adds up. Even if you can't afford to pay the full rate, tip the door girl or something. Like, show guest list. Guest list to me is for industry that you're trying to rub shoulders with and stuff like that. I don't mind. I give, like, my guest list tonight's like huge because it's my last night, but I added to my post about playing the event that if you're financially incapable, if you're struggling a little bit and you want to come say bye-bye for a little bit, just hit me up. I'd love to take care of your cover because, you know, everyone's got to eat and we're all in this together. And that's the one thing that I'm really trying to push here as community. It's amazing. All the individual crews here is just super, super fucking dope.
It's a great little community.
It is, man.
Yeah.
Like the initiative, the Raised by Raves guys, these guys doing the hidden room thing. There's like towards the highway. There's like all like the U+1 guys. There's like all these like cool little factions. But what I would love to see as someone that's not from here is to start seeing collaborations between these guys. Mm-hmm. Like I just
briefly earlier, didn't we? Like,
yeah. So I just played a music festival that you know, there obviously there's two festivals that were both happening on the same weekend, and instead of competing against each other, these guys reached out to each other and they combined the festival on one of the coolest properties. And the fact that each stage was represented by each festival, it probably tripled the attendance. You know what I mean? Like the vibes were immaculate. Like I played countless festivals this summer, and the way like full rider fulfillment at a bush rave, I asked for some nice shit. I like Johnny Walker Blue and, you know, like expensive liquor. I always push for it, but these guys like fulfilled everything. They even had my fucking charcuterie board behind the DJ booth at the bush rave, and I'm like, you guys are just killing it. And like the level of appreciation that they had for me being there, and it was reciprocated in full by me for just the care and attention. When you do this for your living and you're literally moving back and forth. I've slept at home 12 nights since May. Like when you get that little extra, like, hey man, we went and got you the charcuterie board. To me, that's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Now I've got nourishment for the week. No, just kidding.
Are you going, Craig?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what was your the best experience you've had DJing? What would be your best experience?
I was actually going to ask something similar. I was going to say, what's your best one this year?
Or this year or forever. Okay, man.
Two-part questions. Yeah. Two mates, two questions. See where we're going here. Let's go. I'll start with the first one. We'll do the best one that I had this year was fucking all of them, man. I don't care if there was growing pains or whatever, just the experiences, but to name one in general that I was absolutely fucking mind blown by, the production at Bass Coast, the production at Shambhala, just the you know, I hadn't been back to Shambhala since 2009, and
I've never been, man.
You guys are coming. You guys are coming next
year. We need to do the podcast there, man.
There's no fucking chance you're missing it. Like,
no,
we need to bring the podcast there. That's what we need to do.
And like it would be for sure. I'm sure there's people that we can talk to about that. But Shambhala, I hadn't been since 2009, and just to see the like exponential growth, the communal growth, the stage production.
Amazing.
It is. It is,
yeah,
man.
That's fucking wicked.
And Bass Coast though.
Bass Coast, but these
amazing.
like, and people are like, oh, I only go to Bass Coast or I only go to Shambhala. Like, motherfuckers, go to both. Like, there's culture at both of them.
Absolutely.
The lineups are immaculate. Every fucking person.
Well
on that
curated lineup. Sorry,
like,
cut you off there. Yeah.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
That it just absolutely impeccable programming.
Yeah.
The organization, like, you know, I've been going to Burning Man and doing the Southern California Festival Circuit, Lightning in a Bottle, you know, Symbiosis. What's another one? There's like Serenity Gathering, Lucidity Festival. Like, there's all those small, medium, large size scale ones. Like, and then you got the Coachellas and shit like that. But who fucking cares? But it's those small, middle to large scale ones, like the Lightning in a Bottle. I highly recommend you guys go check that out. It'd be a cool one for you guys to do a podcast at. But just the care and attention that goes into the curation and the programming is like, I know guys that are working on the the production side or the booking side of things, they're already hard at work. All these guys, like the day, I think I saw it today. Like Shambhala is already like 80% sold out.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
like Bass Coast, same thing. They had their tickets going up. Oh, not that long ago, really.
I think Bass Coast. I think Bass Coast goes on sale on this
22nd?
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, this week
Yeah.
coming,
Sorry.
and then Shambhala went on sale on the 13th.
That's
I
crazy.
believe. I don't know. I scroll on the internet so much.
It's crazy.
But
again, though, and again, we were almost talking about this earlier, Cam. Right? That's like proper organizing. You're selling tickets a year ahead. You're starting to promote and get
You're
stuff
done
out
then.
there.
Yeah.
Well, that's
year
a
ahead
cheat.
of
That's
your
a cheat
thing.
code. That's the cheat code, right? Like you got guys that are, like, if I was to do things at Throw Festival, I would launch my lineup in January, and have tickets sold out by the time the spring hits, the snow melts. Then I don't have to fucking worry about selling tickets.
Yeah.
Then I can focus on production. But to me, that's I don't know, pretty outlandish for some people to think, because it seems like a lot, like you were mentioning, like before we started filming, the length of time that people are taking to promote.
Yeah.
It's a week, isn't it?
Sometimes it's 3 days. Like, and we've
3 days. man.
we've been
5 days.
we've
It's
been
fucking
very
nuts.
fortunate with Raised by Raves that if we launched a party on the Wednesday, we've got pretty much everything buttoned up, sold out by the Saturday.
Which is crazy. It just blows my mind.
But
It's awesome.
it is
But
awesome.
it's crazy.
What I would like to see more of, though, in this market is to see people actually like buying tickets when the event launches, and give it a month, man, because some of these artists that are being brought need that bit of exposure. Like, I just played with a guy from France, Airrod. Airrod plays like 150 fucking
Airrod
sla-
is well known.
He's fucking massive.
Yeah, man, I know Airrod.
Like,
yeah.
when I got the call to play that shit, I was fucking losing my shit. I was like, oh, let me check my schedule. Like, maybe I can fit it in. Like, fuck yes.
Let me just double check. Yeah,
I'll call you right back. But yeah, no, like, guys like that should have a month of promotion so that you can grab and make a reel on Instagram or on Facebook, or make like start educating these guys in the markets here that maybe someone doesn't know who that is, but the caliber of artists. Like, I saw there's like I see Pig and Dan's on their way
Yeah, I
back
see
to
Pig and
Vancouver.
Gene Ferris is coming back.
Gene
isn't he?
Ferris, yeah, actually, man,
I'd love to have Gene
that
Ferris
was
on the
probably
podcast.
the show of the summer for me. Like, getting to close Gorgamish after Gene Ferris. I don't think I've ever shit my pants. Like, what the fuck am I
Coming
gonna
off
play?
the back of him. Yeah,
Playing after this legend, like,
yeah.
and he's just the sweetest dude. Like, just smoking weed and in the DJ booth. Like, we're vibing, and I like. It's such a great feeling.
We need to get him on, Craig.
Yeah.
Gene Ferris.
Oh,
We do need to get him
yeah,
on,
I'm
man,
sure
yeah.
he's coming back like
October, isn't
October 20th or
he?
something.
Yeah, I've got my eyes on what's going on.
Yeah,
so
I
don't
know
worry.
you do. I love it. But yeah, no, I have a huge respect for what's happening with the bookings here in Vancouver. I've seen seen Beirut was just here. I've seen Davi was just here. That's the Red Carnival dudes who brought them up. I haven't worked with them yet, but I love to see it. Like, I love-
Isn't Camel Fat coming?
Camel Fat's coming.
Yeah.
The guy who actually allowed us into the space, Bryn, owns the studio, but Dom is the resident that does the house podcast. He's actually playing with the Italo Bros.
Oh, shout out to Dom. Hello, Dom.
It's yeah, but seeing those kind of bookings starting to show up here in Vancouver, and I know there's been like, Dubfire's played here a bunch, and there's been huge bookings that have come through, but you never see the Carl Coxes.
Oh,
You never see that. Go ahead.
Lee Foss.
Lee Foss.
He played it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Like,
did.
and
Yeah.
I think Sivs was
Sivs
Yeah,
was
Sid
supporting him.
support-
him, I think.
fuck, she's
Yeah.
a G. She's a G.
Yeah,
Like,
she's been killing it.
I love watching her play music. I'm actually gonna play one of her. She sent me a pretty cool ID yesterday. I'm gonna drop it tonight.
Oh, so that's also was going to ask you, actually, on the back of preparation. I'm starting to get a lot more producers like listening on the show now, and DJs, and I want to start asking you sort of questions. But like, what would be your preparation for a set? First of all, like, you know, would it like be a festival because they're all different atmospheres? What would be your like setup to a smaller venue or a festival? Or
I play the same. I literally play the same if there's 4 people or 4,000. I read the room. I read the crowd. I'm not at the level right now where people are like, oh my God, I'm going to go pay $100 to go see this dude. My job at this point in time in my career and my passion is that I'm there to give the people who are paying the best fucking experience that they could have.
mm-hmm.
And giving them some sort of education. I play safely a lot, unless it's, you know, warehouse afters or some shit like that. Then I have a little more creative freedom. But it's not that I'm bending a knee and playing stuff. People would be like, oh, I thought he was a techno guy, but he's playing house music. Or I thought he was a fucking house guy and he's playing techno. Like, my favorite shit is when people talk shit.
But then, man, I like, you know, like you're saying, when you like mix it up a bit and stuff like that. Look at Michael Bibby. He's playing like, you know, he's playing some old stuff. They're playing like Robin S, Show Me Love. They're like doing all these things, like mixing up a bit. But what I was gonna say was, what is your favourite size venue? Is it a small one, big one?
I honestly love the like. Sorry, my girl's outside right now.
So good. Man.
My bad. Yeah. So I love playing. I don't give a shit. Some of the best sets that I ever have are like in my fucking living room. Nobody there. My cats and my dogs. I have a huge respect for the openers, the opening DJs.
I was about to say, yeah.
The direct.
I want to get onto that. Yeah.
When the floor, like I played Badlands Music Festival this year in Calgary. Thank you very much to Remy Party. He's and Braden Werbringer. They're both absolute fucking G's from Calgary Blueprint, Alberta Blueprint, and they put me on opening for Mark Roubillier, that crazy loop guy, and
he's nuts.
He's nuts.
He's nuts.
His show is absolutely fucking cracked, man. And like I had the opening duties of the stage. I literally played music while they were like setting up the bars and like, but the fucking coolest part of that was that I looked out and like everyone who's like the security guys who are like setting up the fucking like railings and shit like that, they're all she's gonna my girl just pulled in. She's gonna braid my hair while we finish this up.
Nice.
I gotta
Live
play
on the
tonight.
podcast.
That's what I was going to quickly ask you. Actually, was
About his hair?
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what
But
happened
anyways,
there? What happened there? I want to know about
I
it.
thought we were talking about like music. and
We
stuff.
was, but then you brought up hair, and I was like, actually, yeah, let's talk about that.
What shampoo do you use, Cam?
I don't.
Oh, fuck. Good
don't?
for you, bro.
No, I actually horse hair shampoo and
Horsehair.
the mane and tail. That's the vibe.
The mane and
Uh-huh.
tail.
But yeah, so like when I was playing Badlands,
Yeah.
there was nobody there. The gates weren't even fucking open yet, and I was looking out, and the security guards and the bartenders and the bottle girls and the promoters, everyone's just fucking vibing. There wasn't one patron on that dance floor yet, and that was like one of the most rewarding feelings. Is like these guys have been here for 14 days because the Badlands is really cool. Actually, it's like a music festival during the Stampede, and so it goes for the entire duration of the Stampede. They do a party. I think it was like almost every fucking day. Like, they had, I think, the Chainsmokers and like there's a bunch of really fucking cool artists. But without having even the gates open yet, I was banging like I was playing like Suddenly Funk, Renato Cohen, like that old funky kind of house vibes.
Nice.
And you just see the like joy on these poor fucking saps' faces that have been subjected themselves to doing these parties every day for 2 fucking weeks. Calgarians, Solid.
Yeah, mate.
They go off. They're always in the fucking pocket. They're awesome. They don't quit. They don't quit at all.
I was just actually messaged with T. Williams the other day.
Oh,
he
no
was
way.
just in Calgary, right? He played Calgary and then
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yes, mate. Yeah, in Edmonton. Yeah.
I think there's one more in the brown bag behind you, mate.
Yeah, grab one.
Are you sure? Can I drink it? Do you want to share it?
Yeah, fucking go on, mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you, Cam, as well. Talking about like warm-up DJs and stuff like that. Like I've seen people talk a lot about it. There's not enough people that want to fill that slot, and they always want to hit the headline time and the prime time. And there's actually a lot of people saying, well, no, actually the most important set is actually the warm-up set.
Absolutely.
And I 100% agree. Like, what would your take be on that?
I'm 100% with you, dude.
Yeah.
It's the hardest. It's the fucking hardest job of the night. You're the most pressure might be on you for that peak time slot, sure, but the most like anxious and like, am I fucking doing this right, daddy? Like fucking vibe is when you're selecting tunes first. There's nobody in the fucking bar. You're the first person that the people who paid there, you're either gonna feed them shit or gold. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, imagine you paid to go to a show, like say like an Adam Bear show or like something like big ticket, and the dude who's on, you wanted to get there early so you could get your drink on and get to the bar before the hordes of humans. But the dude's playing absolute dog shit. Like, I'll probably be outside smoking weed in the fucking smoking area until the next guy's on. But when you are an opener and you or like opening act, and you can fill that dance floor from the time you step in there to the next guy without, you know, banging out some like headliner style music, play shit that the next guy's never heard. No,
Yeah,
For sure.
Would you recommend, like, I've said this to people. I've said, like, you should probably like analyze what the lineup is first, and then like obviously go from there and start sort of seeing what sort of music they've played. So it's basically you're doing a bit of homework, aren't you?
Yeah, you have to.
And then you're sort of like dressing the night or like preparing the night.
Oh, 100%.
And,
like
you
when
know,
I've been so very fortunate to be considered for quote unquote headline or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the peak time artist shit. But like before my set, I'm doing, like, I'm there clocking the crowd, I'm watching the vibe, seeing what's working. When I open, I try to set the guy up who's playing after me as well as I can without taking any sort of like credit from his spotlight or her spotlight. It's not necessarily about you, boo boo.
No, but you still like and I think that's the tough thing, right? Is it's not, but you still want it to be you.
You want it to define yourself.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah, mate. Yeah,
that's the,
But
that's the key to it. Right?
But versatility is the complete opposite of complacency.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
if you're able
yeah.
to be a versatile DJ that can open, close, headline, fucking
100%.
pass out flyers, you know what I mean? Do invites on fucking social media, all that shit. It adds value to your whole package.
100%, man.
yeah,
Totally agree.
And these guys that I've been, humans that I've been running into that are like, yo, I don't promote. Why? That's your immediate connection with people, even if it's a fucking invite in your social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Cameron St Denis invited me to this event. I've never met this crazy looking motherfucker, but it looks like he's doing some things. Maybe I'll go check out his opening set. And a lot of times when you have like double headline bookings, like, dude, give me the opening spot. I don't give a fuck. Hopefully with the amount of attention that I've garnered and earned in the last year and a half doing this shit here, maybe I can get people through the fucking door at 9 p.m. I don't care. I don't care if my name's as big as a pinky nail on the lineup or the whole fucking page. I don't give a shit. I just want to play music, and I want to have my friends and the people that I look up to, like, have the best experience doing this shit. We were only here doing this shit one time.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I also think when you're doing warm up set, it's your time to go through your
Like library.
your library, yeah, and just sort of really think of what you got through. You can go through it, see what works with other things.
Exactly.
Time to really test it out, right?
And say that you just went on TrackSource or Juno or Beatport or one of those, and you just like dumped a shit ton of money and a bunch of tracks that you think are going to be good and haven't even had the time to go through and listen to them all. Well, that opening spot, they're bangers.
Yeah.
You know they're artists that you respect. Well, right now is the time that you start to find your arrangement of your set. So, okay, this track works with this. You keep in mind what key you're mixing in and la 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 la. But there's certain tracks that maybe you skip that fucking Camelot wheel for one mix. Like, just see how it works, because it's possible. You can mix out a key. It just doesn't. It's not.
I think I mix out a key all the time, mate. I play vinyl, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fucking key is.
Do you phrase mix?
What?
Exactly.
Right.
There we go.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
I beat mix, bro.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3,
Beat match.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm good, right? That's about the extent.
I mean, and then so. Like, the definition of a phrase is 32 bars classically in music training.
Okay.
So if you count 4
don't
bars
do
until
that,
you hit the 32, that's your first phrase.
Okay.
And I learned that because I've had people talking shit in my direct friends group about phrase mixing, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look this shit up.
This shit?
But it's all visual.
Yeah.
Like,
how you counting 32?
That's another thing that I will like go ahead and say is like, I don't care if you're playing on a fucking iPod, on a laptop, on a controller, on vinyl, CDJs, as long as you are doing your job and bringing people together and making them dance, just let go of the fucking
egos,
the ego shit,
man.
And the expectations, and
or like, you have to do it this way for you to be
mate,
fucking this, la 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 la. Nobody gives a fuck when you're up there, because they can't see.
Not in the moment of the night. Like, that's we talked about this, Dom, actually before. Sorry, Dom's in the background here.
Yeah,
shout out
Dom. We talked about this. Like, I freak out when I hit record. I hate hitting record. I don't like recording a set, because every little mistake, it just freaks me out.
Good.
I know everyone's going to hear it.
Good.
I know I hear it every time.
Fucking good.
I know when it's coming, and I fucking hate it
straight away.
But
you know what?
But if I'm playing live in front of people, I don't care about any of those mistakes, because it's done and it's gone, and no one knows. Well, that's you're in the moment.
That's what we were saying. That's what we were saying. Like, earlier, before we were filming, I was saying, if some person sends me a mix, and it's flawless, end to end, sick fucking Ableton mix or recording, dude.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to replicate that when you're on stage with CDJs and 5,000 people in front of you? Maybe not. You know what I want to hear? I want to hear the correction. I want to hear you fucking train wreck, and I want to hear the correction. And even if you fucking have to filter it out, like, when in doubt, filter out. Start a new track. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, we all play on mixers now that have effects. I'm trying to start pushing the whole zone thing out here. It's just not working.
It's for me, like, it's I spoke to quite a few DJs about it. Shout out to Rob Cockerton and Grant Richards from back in the UK. But they said to me, it doesn't matter about the fuck up, it's how you can pull yourself out of it.
Exactly, man.
And that's pretty much
like, the generation of the younger generation of DJs and selectors right now is like, they're so worried about everything. When I got into this shit, man, like, this was about freedom. It was about, like, I was always booked because of my character, by what I bring to the table with every other aspect, and the mixing and the selecting. I play really good music, but I'll never sit here and tell you I'm a fucking master DJ, because all you're gonna do is set yourself up for failure. You're gonna sit here and tell me that you're the best fucking DJ in Vancouver? I don't give a fuck, dude. I know guys in their bedrooms that can school you, but they're just terrified to play out in public.
Yeah.
Or they haven't had the opportunity, or they
don't want the opportunity.
They don't network, or they don't want to network, or like you said, they don't want the opportunity. They're good doing their thing.
And good for them. They
absolutely.
Again, like me and Craig have
That's
said,
like me, Cam, basically. One of the best DJs in
hi.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
I just play in my bedroom, man.
Oh, hi.
That's like me and Craig said it many times. I'd rather watch a guy or a woman, their DJ skill might not be the best, but their track selection is fucking on form. Do you know what I mean?
100%, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
You just described me.
Yeah.
Like to a fucking T.
With the blonde hair.
With the blonde hair. Yeah, I've been mixing for 20 years. And it's sometimes it'll be a little rough. And it doesn't make me a less of an artist. It's the presence and the way that you can captivate that dance floor. Like, I'm so fucking excited to play tonight. Like, I have a whole playlist of music, and you guys have seen me play a shit ton, and I always have staple tracks in my sets. Like, I literally have, like, Monolink was playing at the Malkin Bowl here in Vancouver, and like, people were messaging me taking videos of him playing Art Bat Return to Oz, and they're like, he's playing your track.
He's playing your track.
Like, the fuck, man. Like, but there's certain tracks that in my set list that I have been able to, they're like become staples, and people will literally come to see my shows to see me bang my head or fucking jump up and down to a song that's produced by another group or DJ, but the way that I present it to them is that much more special, and that to me is worth more than anything.
I think, like, the energy that a DJ can give off, like you're saying, like that, just amplifies the track anyway. If you're into it, like we've talked about this before, but on a few shows, like, Carl Cox says it, many of the big boys say it, like Carl Cox has said it many a times, like he's so into it when he's doing it because he wants to be on the dance floor.
Solomon, yeah.
And I think when you give off,
but Solomon looks mean the whole time. Yeah, he looks fucking. Doesn't it look like he's having fun up there? Like he's
being
one of my idol icons.
Yeah.
You want to see a guy that really, really puts on a fucking show is Olivier Giacomoto, Non-Solo, Atish, San Francisco guy. Just the level of when you bring that level of energy, and I play like that. Like after Chasing Summer Music Festival, we had we got a stage takeover for Raised by Raves, and we had an artist from Toronto playing, Ali K. Crushed it. Her and the homegirl Jade Tang did a back-to-back, and then Ali was on direct support for Matroda, and she came up to me and was like, hey, do you want to do a back-to-back to do direct support for Matroda? And, like, we put on a fucking clinic. We played deep cut, like, borderline techno, deep tech shit that was completely off-brand for the Matroda show. But the frenzy we got them in for when he stepped onto that fucking... And what was amazing is that Gene Ferris was there. And he walked on stage and he gave me a dap. He's like, that's fucking deadly, man. And I literally almost fucking shit my heart out. Like, having someone of that stature come up to you and, like, just watch you play. It never gets old, man. Like, the guy, like, even if doesn't matter who the fuck it is. Last time I played Gorgamish, this, like, 60-year-old woman, maybe even older, a little Chinese lady comes up to me with tears in her eyes, and Graham let me play a little later than we normally stay open. I think it was like 8:35 or some shit like that. She's fucking crying. Please play one more song. Like, fuck, shouldn't you be in fucking church?
Yeah.
like, where's your grandbabies? Like, but the emotion and the fucking energy that you get out of doing this vocation, hobby, lifestyle, there's nothing that compares to it that I've found on this planet yet. And I am just so thankful to be included in it, like I've mentioned a couple of times now. And I really am about pushing more and more people to get out there and start experiencing this shit. Dude, just buy fucking tracks, download Rekordbox, and start mixing them on your laptop. I'm a huge advocate of telling guys to, like, it's a therapy, man. I can't fucking meditate. I got ADD worse than fucking anyone. And for me, when I play music at home, it's my mind shuts down and I just get into it. Bro.
I got in from work the other day so stressed out. I saw my daughter as I walked in the door, and I kind of just snarled at her. She knew straight away, and I was like, yeah, I'm going out for a rip on the dirt bike. And I got a little dirt bike out, and I live in redneck Langley, so I was just ripping around in the bush there. And then I came home, and my kid was like, you're good now? I was like, yeah, that's good. And then I went straight downstairs, and I put my headphones on, I turned the turntables on, and I jammed for about 2 hours, man.
Amazing.
I just totally meditated. 2 hours with the headphones on,
Yeah.
just jamming away.
Yeah, man.
It's the best, mate.
I got one, just kind of like going on with that as well. Is the new generation are coming in as DJs now and things like that. As you said earlier, they're more focused on more of the fuck ups and more than enjoying it.
It just seems stressful.
Yeah, like it just doesn't
This
seem.
isn't supposed to be fucking
It's
stressful.
supposed to be fun, right? And
It's supposed to be
like,
art.
like Craig was saying, you were saying, coming off the back of that, is what my question is. It's meant to be a thing there where you're meant to, relax and be. It's a form of meditation, right?
Right.
So, what advice would you give to DJs, coming into the scene? Because I've noticed now they're more focused on like getting on record box and setting their cue points and having these perfect things. And like we said before,
Honestly,
enjoy the mixing, and just enjoy it. And
the only thing that I would suggest for anyone who's coming into this shit is don't worry about what anyone thinks, or don't fucking do it for you, man. This is not anyone else's time. This is your time. If you want to mix music, you want to play Gabber House, you want to play fucking whatever, industrial techno, you want to play drum and bass, you want to play dubstep, doesn't fucking matter, man. If you love music so much and you want to do this for a living and for peace of mind, or for an escape, or for tribute, or whatever it is, just do it for you from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then once you get to a point, just do it for the dance floor. They're there to dance at the beginning. They're not there for you. And as long as you keep that humble mindset, it stays fun. When you start getting on like, oh, I should have this, oh, I should have that, you'll get there. You'll get the nice shit. But at the end of the day, like, we're doing this because it brings people together. That's why I do it. I love to see, every walk of life walk into the afters or warehouse, and you got an investment banker next to a biker. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I had just realized it is 12:40 a.m.
Yeah,
I play at 2 a.m. at Gorgamish, and we should.
Yeah, pretty much up. Yeah, I just want to quickly ask as well what your future plans in Europe, like how many gigs you playing in total?
Full roster.
Full roster.
Start to beginning. Every show in order.
Okay.
Time,
Let's go
dates,
for it.
Venues.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, one second.
I'm just joking.
No,
bro.
I got it here.
No, yeah, how many playing in total? How many playing in
I
total?
got it here. Hold on. Hold on. One second. So I am doing Berlin, Ibiza, Budapest, Amsterdam for ADE, Mallorca, Barcelona, London, Leeds, Manchester, Dublin, Mykonos, Frankfurt, and Basel, Switzerland.
Good for you, bro. That's a fucking nice little fucking session right there.
Good for you, my friend.
I wish I was going over to Europe.
Just come, dude.
Yeah, well.
I know.
I want to go to Spain pretty soon. You know that.
Well, we were talking about that.
Right?
We'll be neighbors on the island on the White Isle one day.
100%, mate.
We'll see how fast they kick me off that fucker this time. Just kidding.
Mate, I'm sure you're going to have a blast on those shows. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
mate. Thanks for coming on and chatting with us.
Of course, guys.
It's always a pleasure to see you, mate, and catch up.
Yeah,
So,
I have a question for you guys, actually.
Go on. No, what's it going to be now?
I'm scared.
I'm fucking
Okay.
worried.
Can you touch your toes? No, I'm just kidding. No, how did you guys find that your experience was at music festivals this year with your guys' mobile setup? Kind of like we were doing here, but
It was good. It was a learning curve. Definitely, think we've got some things to
Tweak.
work on.
Yeah.
are you guys gonna keep pushing it though?
Absolutely,
Absolutely,
yeah.
man,
We
yeah.
really, we
Yeah, I
really
really-
enjoyed it. Bass Coast was a blast. Electric Love was a blast. It really was. And yeah, we definitely know we've got some stuff to work on our end of things to make it work better and look better.
Did it motivate you though?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
It was
Yeah.
more rewarding than it was stressful, or was it rewarding stress?
It's for me like it's a little bit stressful, but it's rewarding stress. In the day, like Bass Coast have asked us to come back again.
Perfect.
So is Electric Love, and if we can get in Shambhala, that'd be great. If we can get over to Ibiza, that'd be great.
I think,
you know, all these sort of things. I'd love to get to that sort of stuff.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think
Ibiza.
like, some of the stressful sides of it we've learned from, and if we get our ducks in a row, it will reduce the stress for us anyway.
100%.
Some of it was we didn't really know how to fully
Get people,
access people,
yeah,
and make sure we
Right.
had our schedule lined up. So
Right.
So it became very last minute, very kind of like, can we do it now? Can't we do it now?
Well,
Can we get this guy? Like it was a bit of
Yeah.
a clusterfuck.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a good way of saying it.
I would say probably the best advice that I could give you guys on that is just to peel the lineup beforehand and then like get, you know, commitments from either tour managers or artists or whatever. And it'd be cool if you guys started to like bust the fucking tour managers or event organizers
And
balls too, you know?
again,
Like
actually, that's a great point. And some of it was like, yeah, okay, we sort of knew the lineup, but then again, they didn't put out the full schedule, so you don't know who's playing what day and at what time. But Bass Coast definitely did a little bit earlier. Electric Love, bless them, theirs was a little bit later.
yeah,
So it was a little bit harder to know which day this guy was going to be playing and that guy. So it's tough. And then, like you said, if we really need to sort of like go after the management and the agents and do that way. But mate, honestly, it was a fucking blast, man.
Yeah, man, I loved it.
And
yeah, I'd love to see it.
we loved the opportunity to get to Bass Coast. Really loved the opportunity to get to Electric Love too. We hope we do them both again next year because it was a blast.
I'm
man.
sure you will.
and Shams.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shambhala.
We know a couple guys that maybe know a couple guys who know a couple guys, and I'm sure we can put the thing in their ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, maybe just abroad, man, like with contacts in the UK and
Fucking go
Europe.
renegade it like we used to back in the day with
Just-
just DJ sets, you know? Just
Yeah.
show up in the middle of the fucking pagoda dance floor and just start bugging
Start
people.
rocking it.
Yeah, just set it up for table and just like, do you want to chat?
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
I've got so
Yeah.
many ideas on how I'd like to do the mobile studio too.
I love it.
We
I love
talked
it.
about this before. There's a
Yeah.
whole load of things that I'd love to be able to do where we can just rock up. But anyway,
Yes.
it's been great, Cam. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes,
I know
mate.
you've
Cheers.
got to get off to Gorgamish.
Thank you.
Go rock your last set.
I can't wait.
It's
gonna
going
be
to be a
good
good one, bro.
Oh,
Right. Everyone
thanks.
there is good. And if you guys are ever in Vancouver and you need to work on music or you need to practice DJing, or if you live in Vancouver and you want to learn part of this shit, look up Northern Haus Studios, man.
Yeah.
Northern Haus, shout out.
These guys are doing it, and maybe we can like throw the logo up and maybe the Instagram or something on the
I'll do it.
or on the
Posted it,
video
yeah.
or some shit. But like these guys are actually you're not gonna find a better space. They have fucking barefoot speakers in the studio. They got like it's just most well put together shit that I've been so blessed to meet these guys and hang out with. Make sure you tune in to their Twitch channel on Thursdays
Every
at
Thursday, yeah.
at 7
Thursdays,
to
yeah,
10 Pacific time. And yeah, check out Raves by Raves. We've got some pretty cool shit in the works, and every one of our team is pushing. And we actually just welcomed the guy who does the Northern Haus live stream, the house radio or house residency with Still London. We just had him join Raves by Raves, so things are starting to get tighter.
Yeah, and also we've actually got an episode of a Northern Haus actual episode, haven't we? But because festival season, we've been really busy and had to put them out. But we have got that one coming
I was
along.
going to say as well, another shout out, Joel West. You talked about him earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He's now doing his
Training
training
Yeah.
sessions.
Oh yeah.
courses.
Check that shit out too. If you want to learn techno production, and techno is something that's been nipping at your heels and you want to get into it, really start checking out like what Joel West,
Joel and his son of Magnus as well.
Son of Magnus.
Yeah.
Check out Groundwork.
Yeah, he's going in there.
Do they do it on Twitch live today? Or is it a course
don't
I
know.
don't think so.
No?
No. I think it's
but
just an
but I
in-person
think
thing.
Okay.
like it's in person. But yeah, like I said, if you're ever in Vancouver and you're looking for the rave, just those 3 things that I just plugged are send you in the right direction. And
Sweet.
let's go rave at Gorgamish. If you're in Vancouver, Friday, Saturday nights, it's 2 to 8 a.m. Come get weird with us. We love you.
Underground, bro. Yeah, mate. Yeah, thanks again, Cam. I really appreciate you coming on today, mate, and inviting us to Northern Haus. Obviously, Northern Haus is a legend, so yeah,
Cheers.
mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thanks for the beers too.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Okay.